On this trip, I've learned to rely completely and wholly on God, because in the extreme heat and the exhaustion that I constantly felt during the building days, I knew I wouldn't be able to get through it without God's help and His strength. And also not being specifically a part of this youth group and just feeling so welcomed and invited in has been the most incredible experience on this trip.
This trip, it's meant a lot to me. Every time we come into a build, it just reminds me how big God is. I love seeing these students come out and get their hands dirty, work hard. They don't complain. They spend long hours on this build site because they love God. A lot of people say that our youth culture is just dead, that they don't care about Christ, that they're not thinking about Christ. But I look at these students, I see these guys out here working, I see what they're doing, and I know that God is not dead. He's living right here in the hearts of all these kids that are willing to come out, serve, spend this time, pay money to come to 104-degree temperatures to build a house for a family so that they can be the hands and feet of Christ. That's what this trip means for me.
So Philippians 4:13 says we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, and we've really seen that this week. We've literally built a house in a matter of a few days, and only have we done it through God's help. I don't think it had anything to do with us, only who we were doing it for.
This trip has meant to me that God could do anything. Like when you don't know how to do nothing and you have nothing to do with it, He can put you in the place that you want to be, and you have it done.
This trip has meant a lot to me. I felt really touched because I felt God wanted me to come here, and just coming together as a whole troop, as a whole church, just building a house for this one little family. It's just meant a lot.
Christ has really worked in me, and I can see how one day that this is going to work in this family. And I hope they take this house and make the most of it, grow with God, and just take our gift as it's a gift from God, not us. So I think God has worked in all of us this week, and it's been great.
And what's this trip meant to you?
This trip was meant to me. It's been great this whole time, just building a house for a family in need. I love serving the Lord and just seeing His will done, and that was the biggest thing. And everybody that came together to actually work on it, it was great.
This trip has been amazing. It's been fantastic to show up on day one and see nothing but a dirt pad, and today there's a finished house that a family can move into today. This evening they could sleep there if they chose to. Even the trip down here, being around the students, and mostly girls, adopting a teenage girl here in the near future, this has been a wonderful experience for me to just kind of adjust myself to what that future looks like it's going to hold. So it's been an amazing trip, and God has really shown me quite a bit of patience and a lot of loving generosity.
It's meant that we can all be ourselves, getting on our feet or getting on our knees and getting dirty, using our hands, getting blisters and calluses, because we're all called by the Great Commission to come out here and do this, and this is what we were meant to do. We were being ourselves here.
This trip has meant so much to me. It's the hardest I've ever worked in my life, but it was so worth it to help a family that doesn't have a home. And it was so amazing to be here with Acuna and Jaden to see their work ethic and to see how hard they go.
It's meant a lot. Like every trip that I do, like I've said in the past, is a miracle. So this group was not assigned. It was assigned specifically for the team, or the group was specifically assigned to the family, and I was not handpicked by the team or anything like that. We were all just throwing it together, and we're all working along really well and everything like that. And it's been a good thing. So what it means to me is a miracle.
This trip has taught me how everyone comes together, and we are the literal hands and feet of Christ, and we come together as the Church of Christ, loving on His family. We're not just CFBC, we are the Church of Christ, and without anyone, this trip wouldn't have been the same.
It's meant a lot. This experience, nothing else, I don't think any super could ever top it or replace it. It's just a different world completely, and a little bit of my heart will always be left here.
It's supposed to be about the family and the community we've been building here, but I think it's about also building a community back home so that we as Christians have support systems, and that's a whole lot easier to deal with whenever you have more trials in life. You have people you can fall back on. So not only are we helping this family, but I've actually gained family.
One of the things that's meant a lot to me is that in this day and age, people look down on the youth, and
how that they are lazy and ill-equipped and stuff. You would all be so proud of your children. I'm so proud of them, the endurance that they've had, the perseverance that they've had, and just the glory that they're giving to God. And I'm just totally impressed and so blessed to be here.
Well, it's many blessings that I don't think I could count, but I can three real big ones. Number one being the ability to be able to give this family this house, and not only the house, but all the stuff that we brought them, the goods and things, the gifts for them. I think it's going to really bless them. And I know they've been waiting for about a year to get this house, so I'm waiting to see their excitement. The number two thing is I've had the opportunity to be able to ride with Andrew this week to and from work, and it's been a blessing to hear his testimony and us having our conversations in the truck. And I can tell that he is truly dedicated to serving God in this capacity. It's been a blessing to be able to get to be his friend. And probably the biggest blessing out of all three of them, and the many that I've received, is being able to come here with these teenagers and young adults and older adults and see how hard they've worked. Couldn't be more proud of any of them, and see how the adults have stepped up in leadership and just been so critical in what they've done and taking people under their wings and guiding them and loving on them, and the kids working so hard that they have. Couldn't be more proud of them. Praise God.
This trip means a lot to me because we built a house for a family that needs a better home, and we got to spread my faith with them.
See how God has used us this week is really been a big deal to me. We've done things that we never thought we'd ever do this week, and just to see how God has used us is just amazing. And the family we've helped has been such a blessing to us. It's just amazing.
It's meant like more than I can even put into words, because many of you may know that I lost my house in February. I've been living in a camper for a while, and being able to come down here, give them a house, it's such an amazing feeling, because I know what it's like to not have a house. And so literally being able to come down here in 4 days, have a livable house, it's just great. And God does amazing things.
Never underestimate my Jesus. You're telling me that there's no hope. I'm telling you you're wrong. Never underestimate my Jesus. When the world around you crumbles, He will be strong, He will be strong. I think I can't, but I think you can, I think you can. I think I can't, but I think you can, I think you can. Gather my insufficiencies and place them in your hands. Place them in your hands. Place them in your hands. Never underestimate my Jesus. You're telling me that there's no hope. I'm telling you you're wrong. Never underestimate my Jesus. But when the world around you crumbles, He will be strong. Never underestimate my Jesus. You're telling me that there's no hope. I'm telling you you're wrong. Never underestimate my Jesus. But when the world around you crumbles, He will be strong, He will be strong.